TC went to a baseball game with his friends. He had a friend who was moving to Africa the next day. And he rarely went out. He was really kind of a homebody, so I pushed him out the door that night, and I was getting ready to go back to work. I'm a teacher, so the school year was starting the next week. I knew it was going to be one of his last opportunities to get some time in with his friends. And he didn't come home. So the next morning, when he was still not home, I called the police and spent several hours in an absolute panic trying to imagine where he was. And, you know, my brain was pretty good at protecting itself. I kind of went through some scenarios that I thought could be plausible until there was no plausible scenario left. And then I realized that something really bad must have happened for this very responsible man not to come home, which is something that's never happened before. So I got a call when I was waiting outside with the police that a body had been found nearby, a few blocks away. And it turns out it was TC, and he had been found on somebody's porch. And as I found out, it took several weeks to get all the information about what had happened, that he had been assaulted, and he had actually spent 8 hours outside before somebody found him. And at that point, he was seizing, so somebody was able to call the police and get him to the hospital. It turns out that TC had been assaulted by 3 young men who approached him when he was walking home from the baseball game. They took his credit card and cell phone and then hit him with a baseball bat. So TC spent all night, well, he spent the first part of that night walking from door to door trying to get help, but nobody was home. And then he eventually passed out on somebody's porch. So he's incredibly lucky to have survived just that night. But what happened after that was a series of brain surgeries, which we were told was not going to promise that he was going to survive, but it was really the only option they had. And in fact, when he first got to the hospital, they weren't even sure he was operable. So we're just very thankful that there was a neurosurgeon there that day, and that neurosurgeon has been just an amazing part of his recovery also. He's an incredible man. So TC ended up having a craniotomy. They removed part of his skull and put it in his abdomen, and had a series of surgeries afterward, a tracheostomy because he was suffering from pneumonia, and has lost vision in one eye as part of the assault as well. So it's been a long series of medical issues and surgeries. It's just truly incredible that he's come out of it doing as well as he is.